Hello guys, welcome back to another weather video. In today's video we're going to be updating you guys on a potential tropical wave that could potentially make landfall in the United States or not do anything, but it's going to be interesting to watch go across the Atlantic because there's no wind shear and no Sahara dust or dry air really in the Atlantic right now. It's a little below average right now. Before we get started with today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave any comments down below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I will get back to it as fast as possible. So you guys can see we have this potential wave that's coming off the African coast currently right now as of 8 a.m. Wednesday, July 26, 2023. We have a 30% chance of it forming in the next 7 days. Now what this means is it's not formed yet. It's not even a wave. It is a wave, but it's not even a depression yet. Like I said, we can look at the next 2 days and see what's potentially what the percentage of it forming in the next 2 days. Like I said, a 0% chance of forming in the next 2 days. Now I do say as we get closer to the next 48 hours, they're probably gonna bump this up to a good 50 to 60% chance of forming. As you guys can see, we did lose 3 potential waves yesterday that were on the map. Like I said, they shouldn't have been really marked on the map because the one right here in the one right here, which should never been really named or even marked on the map, to be honest. It's just due because it was not life-threatening. Maybe this one I understand because, you know, it did hit the Caribbean islands on the bottom and caused a little bit of flooding with a lot of rain and some wind. So here is our satellite imagery, and you guys can see that the Atlantic is pretty quiet, which is typical for around this year. Like I said, we're next, give it about 2-3 more weeks. We're gonna be seeing the Atlantic potentially get active, like I said. But here is our wave coming right off the African coast just now. It's not looking too good as it was coming off the African coast because it's trying to get used to that air. That's the Sahara dust, which is not very strong right now, but it's a little bit strong enough to you know, kind of suffocate. That's why you don't see it kind of forming until it gets right here, because Sahara dust is doing something like this with the big ploof coming off the African coast. So there's our satellite imagery. You know, nothing else we're looking at. Maybe a potential tropical storm that may form over here, but not making any type of impact. So that's why I won't talk about it at all this video. So here is our tropical Atlantic vertical wind shear. And you guys can see right now it is below average right now, which is a little surprising. We probably could see a few more spike ups and a few more spike downs for this hurricane season. But the memorial of the story is that this is very below average. Even if it makes it to the black line, that's still below average. It's about average or below average right now. We're not seeing above average or below average. Or above average, but we're not seeing average at the same time. We're seeing more below average in the recent few. And you can sit there and say, yeah, we do have a few spike ups down here, but that was only for practically only 3 to 4 days. Here we have a constant below average, which is very surprising. And when you start to see that below average constantly, not just for like 3 or 4 days, that helps hurricanes out and tropical waves to form, because this vertical wind shear kind of hurts the hurricanes, and that's why you don't really see you know, hurricanes really forming. Now it is below average right now, so like I said, this is going to be doing a big favor. It is a good thing, but it is a bad thing, because the bad news is that we could potentially see more hurricanes, and this is going to help hurricanes out because it's below average. The good news is that for hurricane tracers like us, we have more chances of hurricanes. So here is our sea surface temperatures. Like I said, updated as today. You guys can see we're talking about warm waters all the way up to pretty much almost Antarctica, almost just about there. You know, we're even 14 Celsius in parts of up there. We're pretty much a whole entire into Canada, all the way up to the UK. We're talking about warm waters, and you guys see this is where our wave is right now. If you guys can see it, our wave's going to be right here right now, and like I said, favorable conditions definitely. Once it gets right here, we're talking about warm waters in this area right here. Let's talk about warm waters. So even if it does something like this, it can still form to a hurricane, not really affect anyone. But even if it makes its way towards right here, it could still become a hurricane and affect the United States. Nothing's talked about. I'm just going to do this for fun. Like I said, I do this for fun. I don't like to exaggerate anything. Stay with your local meteorologist and stay with your local weather channel or National Weather Service. Like I said, this is just fun. For me, I like to track it and do the best case scenarios and the best case scenarios. So here is our Sahara dust, and you guys can see where our storm is right now. It's kind of in a pluff of heaviness, but once it makes its way towards right here, it's going to get in that lighter Sahara dust, which is going to help it out a lot more. And like I said, that's the Sahara dust, and there's really nothing else to talk about that right now. So you guys can see the GFS is currently updating right now, so you guys won't get the 12Z. If you're curious to see what the 12Z is, go to tropicaltidbits.com. But like I said, this is this morning at 6 a.m.'s run. So you guys can see, and if you guys want to see the 12Z, just follow my socials, links down below. But here is the 12Z, or I'm at the 6Z. And you guys can see, I wouldn't believe anything past 5 days. So anything past August 1st, I would not believe. So we're August 29th. We could sit there and say, okay, we're going to get a good, maybe a tropical storm within the next 5 days. So after the 31st, you can see August 1st, I wouldn't believe anything past probably the 31st of July. So right in here, so we see a tropical storm, because you can see, let's see, I can show you how the GFS is in la la mode. You can see the GFS has the surrounding from 5 days in the 5-day range. You can see the GFS has that surrounding that the storm's going to be in between here. It's going to definitely make that bend. It's just a matter of how far that bend's going to be. Is it going to be towards more of the west, or is it going to be towards more of the northeast? That's going to be the question. And it all depends off how strong this high is going to be, the Bermuda high, and we're going to see how strong that is, and if any potential fronts that are going to be coming through. So you guys can see this is going to be forecast run. Let's see. So this is forecast run right now. You guys can see the GFS kind of shows that it's going to be potentially picking up by a front or another low pressure, and it's going to kind of get zipped through, and of course this high wouldn't be strong enough. Like I said, now why I say this GFS is in La La Land is because it's only been showing this for 2 model runs, and you can see that was last model run. The model run before, how do you make a big difference from here to here basically? Like I said, the GFS, and it gets better. The GFS keeps jumping everywhere. It's the GFS doesn't show nothing there. Or it shows it a little bit later, I believe, there. Shows it right there. Then shows it up there. Shows it on top of Florida. Shows it there. I think one model line shows, yeah, shows it in the Gulf of Mexico. But this was a farther days out. You know, we're talking about July 2nd. So you can't really go off that. That was really past the 5 days. What's more believable is this around the 6Z of the 26th. I think this is more believable. Possibly. It still is past the 5-day rule because you're talking about August 2nd. So like I said, it is still past the 5-day rule, and I wouldn't go off anything. But it's curious. It is cool to see that we're going to potentially but it's pretty cool that we could potentially see, that we could potentially see a way of making landfall towards the United States. Like I said, it's only a matter of if the high is strong enough and if a front's going to be coming within that same time. Which I would say, you know, fronts are still a little common around here. They're not as cold, definitely, but there's more of thunderstorms and everything. So here we are. We're going to take a look at, so pretty much this is where the GFS is ran about 50 times, and this is where they get their average. So you guys can see right here, this is where our average is. You know, the GFS is, all the models are pretty much bunched up right there. Now, why I say past the 5-day rule, right there is where they start to get lost. The GFS and everything start to get lost right in here. That's why when you start to see bunching, that means it's a good thing. That means the GFS is pretty sure that's going to happen. Now, when you see them start to spread out and more of a wider field, that's where the GFS starts to say, well, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen here, so we're just going to widen the field out. And the more days it goes out, the wider the field does go out. So you guys see, some models are saying that bend. A lot of models have picked up on that bend. Some malls haven't. Some GFS runs haven't. They're still green with over here. A lot of the malls have been picking up with a category 2, potential category 2 or 3 right in the middle of the Atlantic. So you can see, let's see forecast. Let's go 0Z, update plot. And you guys can see if we go to 0Z, which was 12 a.m. this morning. You can see a big difference between the hours. You can see that a lot of the GFS runs were more towards the southwest. And then that's where you see the bunching because they got lost here. So like I said, I'm not going to go anything out past August 1st. But here's the vertical wind shear, or our wind shear. We're going to take a look at this real fast. This video has been probably long, I know that. But you guys see the wind shear has nothing to exist in here. It's very quiet, and I really do think that this wave could potentially, it would be more of a sighting wave to see come off the African coast. Not the very first wave that came off the African coast, but it's good to see that we potentially, now I do think this is not going to make any type of landfall in the United States whatsoever. Since it is still a little too early, we still get these fronts that come off of the United States, and it kind of pushes all these storms, which the high is not strong enough. So I do believe that a little bit more. I think something like that's gonna happen more. But that's gonna be a wrap of the video, guys. Today, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video. Until next time.